Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up.
Hello friends, and welcome again to another Street Fighter Duel video.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel with another video, this time for a tier list or a list that will completely make you understand the importance of our supports and what are the mostly important supports in the game and how we use them and where do we use them, and some hot takes from me actually, because this list I did it with the help of other people and it showed me a lot of things that I didn't see before and a lot of things that I'm seeing right now. And the meta is changing always with the drop of new releases and new characters, and we can utilize older units or newer units in lineups that will show us how it works. And I'll be talking about it a little bit and giving you some insight and some description to the teams and lineups that we're using them in. So first of all, we have the top support in the game, which I love so much, and it's usable in every aspect of the game, in bossing, in PvP, in stages progression, in tower, and everywhere, which is Athlete Chun-Li. Until now, you can say she's the top support in the game with everything that she does: mitigating damage, adding some damage, buffing your units, healing a little bit. She's absolutely the all-round great support, and she goes fast with fast teams. If you want to use her C1, you can use her in tag position. She triggers her passives with her 6 out of 6 and adds a lot of damage. Now, another unit, I would say the same level as her. I would put him before her, or I would put her after him. It's not a difference between these units. These units provide a lot for the teams, but specifically for bossing and PvP, that's the most thing that we use them at. And now in stories, he's popping off also, which is Trendy Ryu. Absolutely a great unit with all of his survivability mechanics and the survivability mechanics that gives the team as well. Also a great buffer. He pushes your team to the limits, and we are seeing him in top tier meta teams, especially in PvP and Showdown, and he's a unit that you must build. If you're free to play and you want to build characters from Divination and you started your account, you built your Bison at the start of the game, you can go for Athlete Chun-Li straight up or Trendy Ryu, build them and you will never go wrong. Now, another unit that came into the game with the collaboration and was absolutely spectacular, I would put him at the same level as Trendy Ryu, but a little bit less. The more successful teams, the same lineups, we're playing the same lineups, we're having Trendy Ryu on one lineup, we're playing Donatello on another lineup. Trendy Ryu have been more successful than the Donatello lineups. Still, Donatello is one of the amazing characters. These are the top 3 best units, in my opinion, as expensive characters that you can build, but they will always be useful. You can't drop them. They're always useful as supports in the game. The mitigation from Donatello, in my opinion, and his healings, the shields, everything that he does with the buffs, absolutely spectacular, and his damage is really okay for a character that is a support. Now, another support, which is the top tier free-to-play support in the entire game. For her, all of her utilities, she can heal you, she can buff you absolutely massively as an attacking wise, offensively, and she can also use her second skill with it, which is the charm, to help your team sustain in some areas. If you lack stuns, if you want to try to in PvP outmaneuver your opponents, you can use her charm with her C2. Absolutely spectacular unit. Street Poison, again, one of the best top tier units in the game, which is Summer Elena. Until now, she's the only support as trigger that is full functional. She heals, she buffs, she dispels, she gets immunity, she does everything. She works from tag position, main lineup, wherever you want to use her. She's an absolute monster of a beast, of a support. Absolutely ridiculous. I can't say how much good she is, and you don't need to max her out. She works when you get her to double S. It means you don't need the extra 8 copies maybe, or 6 copies or something like that. 2 more copies, 4 more copies, yeah, 6 copies. You don't need them. You can drop her at SS and she will be full functional. Just play her to plus 30 on her fighting spirit and everything will be okay. Now, another character which is a little bit pay to win, or not a little bit, she's only obtainable by buying her from the shop, which is a legendary unit, which is our own Flame Chun. Absolutely spectacular, with the best top team as for bossing for the game, which is with the Fire team. Before Fire Aidon, she was the meta. After Fire Aidon, she became even better and became more relevant in the meta. She gives you the stacks of the flame penetration. When you get it to 50, it means you're dealing the most amount of damage against fire teams. Absolutely wonderful unit. You can play her in tag position. You can play her at plus 30. You can play her at plus 29. You can check the guide that I did for her and how she's played and what's the differences between them. Absolutely phenomenal. She's a support. Yes, she works only with fire teams, but this is the fire team that we're talking about that gives you the highest numbers in bossing. Sometimes you can use it in your story stages, and she will hit that target that is super tanky, and you're just trying to kill that unit that doesn't die, and you will burn them into crisp with the flame penetration that she does. Elena, again, the free-to-play, let's say, angel of everybody else, everybody that played the game, from free-to-play to low spenders to high spenders. She's absolutely phenomenal. She gives you HP buff and defensive buff, and she gives you the full HP, and she gives you combo meter even if she's in tag position. Her passives, she's one of the characters that her passives all work from tag position, which is absolutely phenomenal, and she will help you a lot in stages. Her healing are spectacular. Maybe the best, maybe one of the best top healers in the game. Absolutely great. Summer Yang, absolutely can't go without him on the lineups. A great unit, works with any lineup. I know he's a fire faction unit, but he can inflict armor break and give you combo meter. Plus he gives you shields, plus he heals you, and plus you can play some shenanigans with him like I did with bossing, with stages, that you can just drop his C1, he goes surfing on his board to the end of the backline of your enemy. They try to hit him, he goes back to attack position, they whiff all of their attack, and there you get the space for you to do your combos or your plays with all your units. Absolutely phenomenal, a great unit, a great support. One of the greatest and craziest free-to-play support in the game, which is Master, which is Rose. Yes, Rose is completely free to play. You can build her up just like I did. Never summoned for her, got her to 3 stars right now on my account, and I did miss a lot. She can be 5 stars right now. I can build another unit now of Rose, and she could be triple S as well, just buying her from the shop all the time. She's absolutely spectacular. Healing, rewinding time, and gives you the heals, plus the buffs that she gives absolutely are insane for a character like her. You can use her on main lineup. Now, I'm talking about these units that you're not using as an assist only. Their assist is absolutely good, but you're using them on main lineups, which is perfect. You can use them in tag position or on normal main lineups, and Rose is one of them. And also, she's a great unit for assist. We're seeing her more often now used as an assist because she's so valuable. Now, another unit that does absolutely kinda not the same, but does kinda the same because of all of his buffs. He's a tank, yes, he's a tank, but he's used as a support, not for tanking options. This guy can drop the tag position of your enemy. In bossing, we're using his C1 or his C2, it doesn't matter because it affects his trigger, which is his passive, and he will give you the buff, 1 of 4, and you can maintain every time getting another buff, another buff, another buff with your rotations. Great unit. He's one of the top units right now. He's been used since he dropped. Like every time they give us a new character, which is a normal character, we've seen them that are benched or on the sideline, are not that great, but he's one of the units that became meta really quick. For many players, they're playing him there. He's a core for them. For me, sometimes he's core, sometimes he's not, but his importance could never die, and his assist is absolutely good. It's crazy because you're gonna get one of random 4 buffs. I know it's random, but any buff that you get from him is good. Maybe the recovery rate is not that good, but everything else is amazing. Guy, absolutely, I love this guy. So Action Guy came into the game. We didn't understand him well first. I understood him. I'm talking about the people that didn't understand him, and they put his value as trash. And I was like, how come is he trash? He reduces damage immunity or damage reduction on your enemies. He does some damage. He has a trigger skill. Plus you can use his skills. So when you start your super, he does his trigger skill, which is his super. When you need to build him on +6, +30, so he can be super viable on your lineups. And you can use him with lineups. I know if you use Athlete Chun-Li with him as a C1, he can whiff his C2, but you don't need to use her. You can use normal Street Poison. You can use somebody else, Elena. Anybody with C1 that is relatively good timing, not so quick like Wrestling Hugo or something else, and he would work perfectly. One of the most amazing units for bossing, and we're using him now on stages. I'm using him on stages. He pushed me so far on stages that I finished Chapter 43 as free to play after I'm not playing the stages now because I have these units, and I was like, can I do that? Sometimes on auto I'm winning, which is great, which is it's crazy. Now Zangief or B Zangief, absolutely, he's a balanced character, but he's a support. He buffs your speed, plus he stuns. You can't go wrong with him. The thing is, yes, in bossing we don't use him so much. Sometimes we use him in bossing for specific aspects, but he's not that good in bossing. What he's good is in story, in PvP, he's one of the best units. And his assist, we're playing something now, some people are playing in new meta with using Yun on the lineup as the speed unit and using him as an assist on him to buff his speed, which is ridiculous actually. Good, solid thinking, but he's still one of the great supports in the game for the stun aspect, especially in PvP and in story mode. We got Taos Gen. Now, why didn't I put Taos Gen? He's supposed to be here, but I put him back here because he's a high investment. Same as him, same as the Wrestling Hugo. Very high investment. Yes, they're top tier units. Would they be more than Athlete Chun-Li, Trendy Ryu, and these units up there? No, these units are accessible, more used, very meta. These units are for the one who built them. And I know they can be meta in the future, but you can replace them by these top units. This is why I put them a little bit tier below. It doesn't mean they're not that good. They're crazy good. Taos Gen is absolutely fantastic. Wrestling Hugo, he's not just a tank, he's a buffer for your team. Plus, he reduces damage reduction. He's absolutely great, just like Taos Gen. I would highly recommend, if you have the resources and you want to build these characters, you can drop Elena, you can drop Summer Yang, you can never use them and use these characters instead of them. They will work even better than them. Now, again, another unit that is being a little bit pushed down because he's a legendary, which is Rufus. Rufus, an absolute monster of a buffer and a healer, as you can see in all of the teams that people are using, especially in bossing. He's irreplaceable for them. They're playing him absolute great unit, and actually he's not as bad as people. I know people get salty because he's legendary and you can only buy him, and it was on Christmas and they wanted on Christmas something as legendary as free. Me, I was salty as well, but he's proving to be a great buffer on your team and a great healer. And really, he can sometimes, if you're lucky, I know the probability is so high and it's so low, the percentage that he have to freeze your units after having tank cold, but it could happen. And when it happens, it's absolutely ridiculous because you bypass immunities. If somebody is frozen, you can immediately kill them after that. Now for the A rank, of course, Witch Jury. Now you would say Witch Jury is not a support, but she is in fact doing a supporting role, which is on the Immortal team, or if you want to use some teams for you to go longer in the battle, she can be immune and hang on the ceiling, regenerate her health. You can use her C2 from behind and never get attacked by single target units. She's a great unit, plus her assist is so valuable. We're using her more and more on many lineups as for lifesteal because she's that good. With that, she can use super, she can use C1, she can use C2, and she can use one time if you get her 6 out of 6 as C3, which makes her a lot valuable. Now, another unit that you can use on main lineup, which is Fei Long. Fei Long is an amazing unit for specifically fire faction teams. But the more ways that we're using him for more utility, which is on assist. He's the greatest assist, just similar to Flame Chun. People that plays the fire team, the meta fire team, they cannot remove him from their assist because his assist increase the flame burn and the fire damage that you do with your lineups, which makes him so valuable to use. And yeah, when you max him with 6 out of 6, if you make him plus 30, he will gain more stats and give these stats to the assisted fighter. Now you don't need to get him to plus 30. I never did. I got the 6 cards on him. I got him to plus 20. I will not invest as free to play to get him to plus 30. But if you use him on the main lineup, his C1 is absolutely ridiculous. Any combo, if you go after that using fire characters before his before his usage of his C1 or his C2, and after that you will deal incredible amount of damage, which makes him high on our list. Another unit, which is Diviner Rose. Diviner Rose is great, but she's a very hard investment. Is she better than Taos Gen? No. Is she better than Wrestling Hugo? Also no. Is she better than Rufus? No. You buy Rufus, he's 5 stars, that's it. She's a very high investment. So you need to invest to her to get her to plus 30. Her plus 30 is the most important thing about her. Plus, she can dispel. I know it's a low chance, but it's still 30% is really great to dispel you from getting freeze, from stun, from anything else, or remove the bleed on you. Not Visconti Vega bleed, but any type of other bleed or armor break or burn or whatever. She's a good healer, actually. She's one of the good healers in the game, and you can use her in that aspect. Yes, she's used by many lineups because they built her, and she's really good. She can work with one copy. She can work with max investment at SS. If you get her to plus 30, I would stop there. I don't go for her cars, actually. If you get her to SS, get her to plus 30 and she will perform actually great. Luke. Now, you'll tell me, Luke, we've seen your video. He's used in PvP as a carry. He does damage on it, but he's not a main carry. Luke is just a unit that is between a carry and a support, just like Action Guy. So what does Luke do? forget about his reversal, forget about everything. His C2, you can use him at 1 copy. At 1 copy, he inflicts damage reduction on the bosses, which makes your numbers great and great. So if you didn't build these units, luxury units, or they need a lot of things, you can play him from tag position, drop him with the C2, do some damage reduction for 16 seconds, 15 or 16 seconds on the enemy. This is a big window, big time, and every time he drops and do that C2, he will refresh that 16 seconds and you can do more damages on the bosses. Now, another unit that you're gonna see here, which is Sakura. Yeah, no, normal Sakura as a support, she's a great support actually, if you want to count her as only a support. The thing about her is she saves herself multiple times and she gets damage immunity, she doesn't die. She does a little bit of damage and she debuff your enemies with her debuff. And you will deal even more damage on her. She can support your team and give you some healing. Not the best healing, but still one of the good characters because of her survivability mechanics and the damage output that she does. She does good amount of damage actually for support. She's maybe the second highest support or the third high support that deals damage. I think Athlete Chun-Li is the best damage support. The second best. She became the second best in damage. I'll be talking now and I will show you who's the first, and it shocked me actually. Wait until I get to that unit. Now, Agua Chun-Li or Water Chun-Li, Wind Chun-Li, whatever you want to call her. The legendary Chun-Li, yes, she's a great unit actually to use on a lineup because she gets all the circle protection, and these protection will allow her to survive more and more, just like shield, the able shield, but she always regenerate them, so she might be the last unit on your lineup to die, but she doesn't offer that much. Her damages are okay, her supporting aspect is okay. She's supposed to be a damage dealer, but we're using her more as an assist, a stable assist. Whoever have her, who purchased her, using her as an assist, keeping your lineup surviving, because every time they do something, they get circle of protection and keeping you alive. She's as a support, she's great. As a carry, she's F, not even C, she'll be F. As anything else, she'll be F. As an assist, yes, she's an A rank. As a support on the lineup to survive more and more, also like Michelangelo, so she survives a lot. Nishiki Sakura, she came into the game, she's wonderful, she's great. Now she's support, but not using a C1. So if you want a character that is a support, you can use her in tag position as well. You can use her on your main lineup. She inflict a little bit of damage and she make your team do a little bit more damage. Not the greatest buff, it's only for 10 seconds, I guess. The good thing about her, she gives you the continuous heal and she pops off immediately and give you heals. Now, she's not the greatest healer, but one of the good healers. If you're using another C1 on your lineup that you want a C2 that heals you, and you don't want to use Rose, you're using Rose on a different lineup, you can use Nishiki Sakura to use her with her C2. She can use her C3 as well. She can use her super in sub situation. It will always give you some Blossom. She will give you some heals and sustains. She's a decent character to be a support. I don't highly recommend her, but she's an option for you if you want only healings, strictly for healing I'll be talking. She's one of the good characters to heal. Now for Guy, the normal Guy, what do we use him for? We get him to plus 20 mainly, and we use his C2 because it will buff the next C3 of your character or your carry with a little bit more pressure, crit rate and damage according to his crit rate and according to his pressure, which is decent. It's okay. Early game, it's really good. Before you build any of these characters, if you have him, you can get him to plus 20 easy and do that. Later on, he doesn't become that valuable. You can use him on assist, but you need to kill another unit so he can drop and give you that pressure from him and that attack, blah, 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 yada, yada. But he's not that character. I would say he's more an assist character, similar to Yan and Yang, more assisted. If you use them on your main lineup, it's strictly for getting more speed against your other opponent. And that's what they go. And as I said, Yan could be here because we use him, Bizengiv over him. You can use Yang as well because he gets even more speed, and you can use Bizengiv as an assist on him. So you can gain more speed against your enemies and you start faster than them. Also, you can do that with Wichijuri on your main lineup. Give her fast chant, put Bizengiv on top of her. She'll be the fastest on the lineup, and you can use her as a supporting action. I think for speed, these are the top speediest units, Yan and Yang, but they are more used as an assist support more than on the main lineup. But on the main lineup, they don't do that well. Maybe early game, their combo as a PvP combo would be nice, but that's it all for them. I would put Mayor Cody on B, not in C, because he's not completely useless. This character is really good. I know that on the main lineup he gained the ability to get this dual fight, but it doesn't work that well, and he doesn't have the good survivability and sustain. Yes, he do counter attack. His hinder is the one thing that you might use sometimes to hit the backlines, and if they need to attack in close range, they're gonna stay at their place. It's not something meta, we're not using him. The most thing that we use him as an assist. We use him as an assist, so you gain the duel between you and your enemy, especially in bossing, and you do the extra 15% damage. Now, another support in the game, which is super important for free-to-play players, which is Jailbreak Cody. You see double Codys here beside each other. Cody is insane because you get a free super from the start of the battle and he can interrupt, which is absolutely great. He can lower his accuracy. I use his super. Sometimes I use his C1 in the battle. Also his C1, when he's tossing the sand, he might interrupt because it does the gust, and the gust can interrupt sometimes and stun, which is absolutely beautiful. One of the most valuable characters as a B grade unit to be here. At B rank, it's just normal, just fair enough to put him here. Now, for Blanca, I know he's a character that is not fully support. He's a balanced character, but his supporting aspect is whenever you build him to 6 out of 6, if they start a combo or they do any type of combo, he might interrupt them and immediately end their combo rotation, which is really good. He gives you the stacks of electric glow. He gives you some shields, which is a good supportive aspect, but I wouldn't use him. Even on assist, he will give you some counter attack. Maybe using him on Nero will be good, but I wouldn't use him at all for me personally. I used to use him before, especially in the electric tower. There where he shine, he become like S tier in the electric tower sometimes, but because of the release of Action Guy, I'm not using him at all right now. But if you want to know what does he do, he just counter attack and stun them for 0.5 seconds and interrupt the entire combo, which is really good. For El Fuerte is the major flop in my opinion in this game. I wanted him to be better. I wanted him to offer something else. Maybe he'll give you shield, something like that. Maybe interrupt, maybe stun, that would be great. He buffs a little bit some of bleed teams and functions, some of armor break, and that's it. He's not that fast, he's not that good in damage, he doesn't offer that much, so he's a flop in my opinion. Now, speaking about my opinion about the new character, which is Summer Poison. Everybody are talking about Summer Poison. They are afraid from summoning her, from obtaining her. Even you can go to your friends, even the biggest whales, they didn't just go and build her. They're like, whenever we summon for divination, if there's no 50%, or if we have the chance after we build other characters, we're gonna build her. She's amazing. She's the best damage dealer as a support in the entire game right now. I want to put her up there, but I will not. I'll keep her down here. Just because I still, me personally, didn't fully test her or her maximum capabilities. Yes, I got her cars fully. I got her to plus 30, but she's only on 1 star. I need to build her even more up. On a Bison team, I use her as a backline, not in tag position. She didn't die. The most damage dealer on the entire lineup was her, not Overlord Bison. Yes, shocking. The calculation of her damages and what happens is when she does her super and her C3, which is range, and she stays behind, so your Bison and Bison are the one that doing all of the damages. The calculation of the damage, if you're doing damage while the allure is on them, the debuff that she inflict on top of them, she will do true damage additionally according to her attack. And this true damage, even it's done by your other allies on the team, is translated and calculated as her own damage, even if it's Overlord Bison who's dealing the damage. This is why it calculates for her. What did she do? Did she add more damage? Yes, I tried her on Boss Rush. Bison and Bison teams were doing great amount of damage. When I added her, I doubled the damage. I didn't only just increase my damages, I doubled my damages using her, me personally. So this is why I want to put her up there. I even want to put her as the best support in the game. I'll just shut up on this because I know there's many Karens that will go crazy because they just hate when somebody comes and tell you there's a character that is popping off because they already built a different character and they're not whales. But keep an eye on her. Summer Poison, I think she's the new meta. She will be the new meta. She will be dominating. She will be used on many lineups. Take it from me, try it. If you don't like it, just come and hate on me and tell me what do you think about it. That was it for our tier list for the supports. Leave your opinions down in the comment section. I would love to hear what you have been testing on your own, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, why thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up.